Chapter 62:38. Charlie nodded and said, "It's okay, let him come. As long as he dares to act recklessly here, someone will naturally be able to deal with him." Charlie said, "I'll call Steve to come again. Even if the people in Orris Hill don't know Steve, he will definitely know him." Pollard subconsciously asked, Is this appropriate?" "There's nothing inappropriate." Charlie smiled and said, "He came to Orris Hill to be a grandson. It's not easy to get a chance to be a grandfather. He must be looking forward to it." Pollard was relieved a little, and Charlie asked again, "By the way, Uncle, where are Aunt Han, Paul, and Melba?" Pollard said, "They are getting their hair done in the dressing room. Melba is the bridesmaid today, and Paul is my best man." "Very good." Charlie nodded and said with a smile, "Don't worry, Uncle, today's wedding will be a complete success." While the two were talking, Mai Ching, wearing a white wedding dress, came out of the dressing room at the back accompanied by Melba and Paul. Seeing Charlie, Melba said very politely, "Hello, Mr. Wade." Charlie nodded slightly, and Paul on the side was obviously a little nervous and said, "Hello, Mr. Wade." Seeing that Paul was not very natural, Charlie guessed that he should have known his identity and was not quite used to it for a while. So he smiled and said, "Paul, why are you so reserved?" Paul said hurriedly, No. I heard my mother talking about you last night, and I haven't come back to my senses for a while." Charlie smiled slightly and said, "Don't worry too much, we are all friends." "Yes." Paul nodded quickly and said, "You are right, we are all friends." Mai Ching said at this time, "The guests should be here soon, Pollard. Let's go to the door and wait to welcome them." "Okay." Pollard nodded and said to Charlie, "Charlie, we'll go out and wait to welcome the guests, you three can chat." Charlie nodded and said, "Okay, Uncle, go ahead." Pollard and Mai Ching walked out of the hall arm in arm. Paul looked at Charlie and whispered, "Mr. Wade, my mother said that you are from the Wade family in East Cliff. Is that true?" Charlie smiled and asked him, "Are you still doubting what Auntie said?" Paul said, No, I just think it's too incredible. So I wanted to confirm it with you. Now it seems that there is no need to confirm it." Charlie smiled and said, "My identity does not affect our cooperation and friendship. In the future, Aunt Han will be responsible for the legal work of the new company. If she is too busy, your law firm will be temporarily recruited. You are not allowed to shirk it." "That's no problem," Paul said without hesitation. "The entire Smith law firm is at your service at any time." Soon, a few guests began to arrive at the scene, and Charlie also changed into a suit and waited for the wedding to officially begin. Just when most of the guests had arrived and the atmosphere was harmonious, a blond man walked in and said in a sarcastic tone, "I thought Professor Watt had a good network of contacts, but I didn't expect that there would be so few guests at his wedding. With such little ability, he still wants to marry my sister-in-law. Has he made up his mind to live off her after marriage?"